It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect! So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Hello there, Governor! We got something to give you, we do. Here you go. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship, sir? Give that here at once! Come on, hand it over, that's for me! Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? Didn't we just establish it was a crown? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right, for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. The ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Also, using without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I'm sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never mind you that! So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black what he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Obviously, it's not a problem. Go, fire away! What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Nutsmere's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel. Just over there, look. On the first floor of that house on the corner where the wreck of a bicycle's popped up. Oh, right in front of us the entire time. That is nearby indeed. Oh. If I remember rightly, the landlord is Mr. John Garadeb. Right, well, you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his best wishes! Don't worry, Inspector. We will. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship! Long live her ladyship! Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before we left. So then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Nutsmere's lodgings? Definitely. Alright, let's snoop. I'm a snoop. A new location has been added. I wonder what awaits us indeed. Shall we look, Susato-san? Alright. Is this place, huh? May I help you? Yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garadeb? Oh, we're asking him now. Okay. Indeed I would, sir. And who, may I say, is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. Why? We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garadeb. Immediately. Did you see that, Mr. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. Certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We only need to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Garadeb will see you now. This way. It's just the one room, isn't it? Oh, hello, sir. May we talk to you? Good day to you. John Garadeb of your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's the defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwand, don't you know. Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. Bit noisy around here, innit? It's a hell of a job getting up and down the stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? It's panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garadeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Ah! Dash it, old woman! Be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir! You jolly nearly took the skin off me hands! I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living in the quiet life now. Yes, very quiet. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs. Is that right? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blyie. Piping hot tea! We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. What case isn't at this rate? Oh, is it? Even has a famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea or detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rance magazine here, so... No. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. Where I thought we were going to go, but apparently we wanted to ask this man first. Fair enough, I just didn't know that's what we were doing. It's a bally nuisance, is what it is. The whole neighbourhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Right, so about Mr. Nutsmere. About Mr. Nutsmere then, Mr. Garrideb. Please, do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Well, just a week. So we moved in very recently then. 2 lodgers most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. Ah! Dash it all, Joan! Do be careful! Again! My goodness! I'm terribly sorry, sir! If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set my eyes on him. Why? Sure, he's a bit nervous looking, but new country. He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. Again, this man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man has trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you suspicious about the man at all? Yes! Oh yes, there indeed was! She's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything about your lodger, Mr. Nutsmere? Oh my word, yes! The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. He never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. Bro, he's only been here for a week. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. How do you know that? The funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. I never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Huh. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Nutsmere's routine? Oh! I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house. Is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us. The first floor and street level. Sweating, are we? Then how is it you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? Nosy? The precise times they come back in the evening, for example. Even the times they go to bed. You know it's British when it's an endless abyss. There's always infinite bags, infinite supplies of tea, infinite chips. It truly is Great Britain, isn't it? Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman! How many times do we have to go through this? Lady! Goodness, sir! I'm terribly sorry! Huh. Something doesn't add up here. So much tea! How have you not run out? Honestly, tax the rich. The incident 2 days ago, if you please. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening, some 2 days ago. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrideb household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. With the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? The scene of the crime? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes? Was there something then? It's nothing particularly significant, but around that sort of time here, Ah! For the love of God, Joe, watch what you're doing! Open their eyes! Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir! Do be more careful, woman! Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow-Holland. Yes? An exceedingly good memory, as far as I remember. Nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. No. Really, Mr. Garrideb? The way you were talking before, it seemed rather like there might have been... Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really, nothing of... Ah! June, dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. Sat down and took quite an uneventful meal. Joe. That's right, Mr. Garrideb. What is the matter with these two? Sounds like something happened here on the evening of the incident, alright? But what? I wish I knew. Much more to discuss. Well, besides that, could you tell... Sorry for saying a lot. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. As we've established. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak. Yes, told me that's his name and asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services. That's a blatant lie. He was swearing vengeance when we saw him. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? Mr. Natsume's room, I mean. I don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us in the case. Still, we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again and ask for an autograph. Perhaps he will be able to tell us more. Nothing suspicious. Not at all. We'll leave you to it then. They are colourful indeed. And messy. Post haste! Just look at this place. Smell it. It's so musty in here. Too bad the window's bricked up. Suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. That too, I guess. Good heavens. All that paper. It's a wealth of knowledge in here, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time. For some reason it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garadeb told us... Well, clearly those bricks aren't soundproof, huh? The great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Well, let's snoop around ourselves, shall we? This lucky cat. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home! It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous diamond all that you brought in your luggage? It can be dangerous travelling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same. This cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things! I didn't say a word! Stop reading my blue text! Why are my eyes such a giveaway? So huge. The abyss into your soul. Alright. Books, books and more books. Look at those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. How do you even reach there if you're so short? They're all works of English literature. And they all smell so musty. With this volumes of book to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? Oh, what a dreamy idea. Bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Oh my god, reading! Huh. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile will ever be read again. So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime. Just as the sea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. Oh, look at all the rubbish! It's overflowing. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled over them in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume has been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? Or deeply averse to tidying up his mess. I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth. His desk! The desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. Suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Wouldn't that be the dream? It's surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes. Surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, wasn't he? What's this? What? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look! The date of the purchase. 2 days ago, 4:45 p.m. The day of the incident. It's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Snipe? Hello, little kitty. Hello. Oh, so cute. Stretch. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. So many cats in this series. And speaking of cats, whatever happened to Darker from Case 2? We never saw him. Her. Perhaps he's looking after the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolour Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. Well, I guess he wasn't on the SS Burial. Shouldn't be anyway. It's made me feel homesick now. Already, we've only been in the country for 2 days. And we've been away from it for even longer. Well, we were at sea for what, 50 days? Like a good short of 2 months. What the heck? No, Kitty! Seems like there's nothing left here. Hello there, sir. How's your face? Look, Mr. Nodohudo. Oh, I'm looking. Ha! There he is! Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he wouldn't mind if we disturb him. Well, we've been talking all this time. Surely he heard us come in. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Ah. Ah, you two. Good day. Good day to yourself, sir. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burial. Yes, of course, the Burial. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Cosmo Sogi. He died tragically. But you were a great help to us. Sort of. Cuffed me a couple times. Ah, yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Sogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? You're not wrong. Oh! You seem to remember something of there, at least. That's a start. What an honour to be remembered vaguely by the great Sherlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam. Hold your tongue now. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato. It's the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round, so it seems. Well, he's not wrong. He never said he matched the name to the face. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. Well, we got there first. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. Solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. And we're going to solve it for even longer. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short an amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvement a little. A little? It's a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can be distended to any extent. do my best to forget useless facts, yes, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventure titled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself, sir. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately, my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should only be too pleased, as this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case, the clouded crocodile. Oh, what a delight. Well, Mr. Natsume's arrest. How did you come to that conclusion, sir? We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Borough Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. I can't believe he was looking Sato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. Wasn't that blue? There might as well not be blue text in this game, honestly. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. How? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense! The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. A man seen fleeing? There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question that we took. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophily. Do not be deceived into believing I am a man of leisure. No. Sure. Oh dear. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord. Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. It was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologise. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. So, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of these dwelling therein. Betoken their social sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not, beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary! As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. It is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in this situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garrideb. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something, as we've seen. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I'm as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. The dingy room. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot it is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. Ah, so you're absolving him but not me? Good heavens. Ah, but sooner or later, as I said. Sooner or later. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Bric-a-block. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple, my dear fellow. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Oh gosh. Surely not a tax on windows? Precisely that, my dear. My goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means have inherited a sizable and costly family home and perhaps rapidly closed up windows. While the rich open windows here, there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favour with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust! Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light! Is there light tax too? Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago, or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. Suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about a week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh. Still, that is of little relevance here, a matter not worthy of further attention. Sure. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Perhaps it will come up later. Hopefully. They always try to push irrelevant things to the side, but they always find a way to come back. We'll find out in due course, I believe. Speaking of believe, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? Yeah, we just had our first trial a couple of days ago. You remember that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Oh, yesterday! Woo! Passage of time. Really? Well then, I congratulate sir on an ambition realised, and so promptly too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume, he didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, having the first idea. What? I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room. And there are witnesses who swear to have seen the same man commit the crime. That's all I can say. Oh, and one more thing. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us! I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garrideb is. Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo, as yet our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. You're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrideb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Didn't you complain about the scent? Shouldn't you find better lighting, sir? Mr. Sholmes? Yes, so true. To be or not to be? That is indeed the question, Mr. Naruhodo. Is that what you're reading now? To be or not to be brushed off, that is the question. The answer is all too clear. Let's leave Mr. Sholmes in peace, shall we? Yeah, well, nothing phases him, does it? Alright, off we go. Leave you to your musty tones. Ah, you Peregrine. Damn it, was a detective chap. Forget his name. Still hard at work down there. Hard at work, alright. Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Rings a vague bell. All the detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Oh, he's finally drinking. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Jim. Now then, why don't you tell me what? For the umpteenth time, woman, would you watch what you're bloody well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Oh, yes, of course. Frightfully brutal, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind. Oh, yes, of course. We're deeply grateful for all your assistance. Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you see yourselves out. So soon, we just got here. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadev is hiding something. Since no other avenues of investigation seem to open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. You finished with those books then? You're a quick read, aren't ya? What is he doing over there now? Mr. Sholmes! Aha! We meet again, my dear fellows. Totally didn't follow you up here. Gracious, when did you sneak in here? Hello, Sholmes, at your service. Whatever were you doing by the window? Snooping. I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. And one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Me. I thought perhaps we might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Great moves, perhaps. Dance moves. He's not talking about. Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon. Oh. Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. I see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There's just enough time for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Woohoo! Mr. Garadev. Though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I've been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. Oh, beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Oh. There's another huddle lock. The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. He's been doing that for a while. It's even more evident now. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How could you possibly? How could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The game is afoot once more. Right. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Good heavens, it's in shambles. Thus we are faced with the question, what form this beast might take? For a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very household. What? Yet living with such a wild beast proved much more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well! Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me, with a glance in your direction. It is. Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Oh. Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrideb. At Batty's Circus. Travelling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I've observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. Most certainly did not! I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly for a ring of fire. A rampaging Asiatic lion. Asiatic, okay. The aftermath. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. Your hand, the pain you feel being revealed by the supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage, sir. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is the pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh no! The expenses! Every envelope contains another demand for payment. Oh. 4 cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea! Indeed, feeding your beloved has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go! Yes, well, Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable! The aftermath for which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dear me! What could have caused such a destructive outburst? Oh! This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, you need only look at the Tower of Cakes. A sugar rush! There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet! The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this beastly puzzle. What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me. Isn't it spelled with an A, scalding? I'm gonna have to Google that later. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Garrett. I'm afraid I didn't notice. Huh. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill teas at times too. And sweat! Mr. Holmes, I'm sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again! Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well? Just a thought. But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Garradeb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse. Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold the lion to the circus. What about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea or eats cake. Ah, my dear Miss Susato. It occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they're infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. It's just something in the air. What a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again. It's always my... I had a feeling this was coming. Slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes... a slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it. Oh, I know. Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward. Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Nutsmith's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let us start again from the beginning of Sherlock Holmes's Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. I really didn't see that line thing coming. All of a sudden. But if you observe Mr. Garradeb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room. Yeah, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. So what was it then? We must follow Mr. Garradeb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer. What's this behind it? Another feline, perhaps. The hand looks like a paw. What's this photograph? It appears to be from Mr. Garradeb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he? He does, but you can't make out his bride. Oh, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass and directly over the woman's face. That's unfortunate. I wonder what happened. Probably best not to delve too deeply here. Oh, I think it's a bit late for that. You're not scared. The glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all. But no amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form. I believe powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, she certainly looks that. There's a lot of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure. Oh look! Have you noticed her wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it? Yes, it's an unusual design. Looks like some sort of embellished sunflower. Well, is this the beast, perhaps?
Take that!
Ah, seems so. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by the newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes, this frame this frame print pictures your wife, Mr. Garrett. My goodness. I've read so many words I don't know what's real anymore. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, we can still make out her mighty arms and note the considerable horsepower they must contain. Whoa. Oh, indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching a point, sir. Too late! The fact remains that the beast, which so clearly savaged this room, was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. Yeah! Where is your wife? The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, whoa! Yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam. Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with a glance in your direction. It is! Your dress pocket! The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself. Well, I don't know about fragile. Oh dear. Well, anyway, Mr. Sharmus is quite right. There's no sign of a Mrs. Garrideb anywhere that we know of. But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. A clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Mr. Garrideb's wife could be. I wonder. Oh, Dizzy. What is this? A wedding ring specifically. She's wearing a very large ring, look. Yes, sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. It's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring. Looks like it's on there for life too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size. That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Do you know, Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one. It was a large sunflower design as well. Really, you have a great memory for these things. We literally just saw it a couple of seconds ago, but alright. If not minutes. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? Quite a coincidence. Let's confirm our suspicions, shall we? Oh! We've come a long way from yes! Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. Oh! Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown on the hand of Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid. No. You are Mr. Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself. Oh my word! Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmise, this is my wife, yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she was a bully cork. Ah! Let herself go indeed. It would appear that you don't live in the most comfortable circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you had sufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. Second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? By golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrideb has his wife, works as a maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, of course. But listen here, this must remain a secret. Tip-top secret, please! The raging wife of Mr. Garrideb. Solved. Now, Mr. Garrideb. It is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Are we still calling her that now? Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Loss! Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel... Mr. Soames is quite something. He's still calling Mr. Garrideb's wife a beast. Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable. But Mrs. Garrideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he? How true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then. According to Mr. Soames, Mr. Garrideb's pain is tangible though. What could that pose of his really signify? Well, I saw something on his face earlier. A slapped cheek. Oh! Oh my, look at that bright red mark! Gosh, that's quite something. And clearly made by somebody's hand. It's a weird way to smack someone. Yes, Mr. Garrideb has been slapped in the face, it seems. Hard! I've never seen such a clearly defined mark. Whoever could have done such a thing? Well, it's a very limited number of candidates, I'd say. Sorry about this, sir. So that's why you were hiding that half of the face. It's embarrassing. Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by the slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garrideb? Well, yes. Just glistening. You have been desperate to hide the slap mark on your cheek, sir. Ah! But why? How the blazes? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. To keep your other side from view. Oh. Now, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why were you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garrideb to fly into a rage. We need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. The bills, man! Is it... Didn't Miss Show say that the bills were all for the lion fodder? Yes, but now that we've established that the lion never existed, it can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling up all their food is Mr. Garrett. It's not order, she's a person, not a thing! Yes, well... I guess observation comes with tactlessness. She's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap round the face. One so hard that it left a perfect hand mark, in fact. Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder? I'd love to know the answer to that question. Must be really scandalous. Oh, speaking of scandalous, someone must be reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here, look! Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader. Not as avid as Natsume, I imagine. Wait a minute. Looky here. I don't think this is a bookmark. Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. James, I love you, yours, Mary. And look at the signature here. Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture. Don't get any ideas, Susato-san. Oh dear, I'm sorry. So this bookmark is actually a love note then. Ooh. Care to enlighten us about this? Extramarital affairs? Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Oh, perhaps the send-off is no, a certain Miss Mary is the fly in the ointment here. Oh, I don't know the bally woman. You don't know her? I'm very sure. That note wasn't written to me. It's just in the book. I don't know how it got in there. It was just in there, you say? That's right, that's what I've been... A likely story. Now listen here, Donald. I explained it at the time. I bought the book at that second-hand place, and that note must have already been in there. So, the previous owner of the book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean? It truly is an abyss to behold. That's right, that's what. A likely story! For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It's written in James. My name, in case you've forgotten, is John. A likely story. Are you questioning my name now? Not again. And there we have it. Arouse the suspicions of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with a most ferocious bite. I'm too old for this. Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried in one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? Whatever do you mean? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh dear me. What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who have inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wondering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the tower cakes. But surely Mrs. Garrett didn't eat the carpet. No, of course not. There doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of disarray that this room is in is the result of a wild temper. No, that's true. So, this is the last part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction that we need to fix. We need only follow Mrs. Garrideb's gaze. That will tell us the right answer. Alright, let's see what we can see. Yes. Well, to explain the dire state of the carpet, if you have a look here, there is a candle. And what's missing here? This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it? The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over. Oh dear, that would be dangerous. Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing. Yes, I didn't notice that before. Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Oh, let's have someone explain that. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Oh, the missing one. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of the ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. The scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away. Scorch marks! It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation. Is that related to our case though? Mrs. Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face. Oof. But on the entire room. The force of her strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds, the carpet was alight, the whole corner of the room in flames. Ablaze! Yes, the most ferocious beast in this world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, the ferocious beast bared his claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, this room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir, I salute you! Sir! Carpet scorched by a small fire. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. It's these dashed long winter nights, you know. Nothing to do but read in front of the fire. Luckily, there's a jolly good second-hand bookshop just around the corner. Buy all my old novels there. And in the pages of one particular novel, you discovered some rather illicit material. Oh. For which your wife admonished you harshly, it seems. Don't know about admonished. Demolished might be rather closer to the mark. Beasts were certainly... Ah! Here we go again. The carpet. Was that destroyed by fire when a candle fell on the floor? Got enough tea to extinguish it by the looks of it. Afraid to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. It's caught between the old stick's rage and the raging flames. You paint a torrid picture, sir. One that would have been most entertaining. That's sympathy for you. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. We had to hide the mess behind that screen for the time being. Over here, Mr. Garradeb. Oh, you have nothing more to hide now, if you will allow me. Whoa! I had all my favourite novels in that case. As soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Gosh, up in smoke! Gosh. The wife started hurling things at me. What a terrible sight it must have been. There was I, backed up against the window under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books can coming 10 to the dozen. Worst of it is, I lost my favourite book called The Lion's Pride. Oh, he did lose a lion of some sort, by the looks of it. The Lion's Pride. Ah yes, your notorious love of big cats coming through again. Uh-huh. I assure you, the title didn't influence my choice in the slightest. So the poor man really did lose something dear to him as a result of the ferocious beast's rampage. Mr. Sholmes' deductions turned out to be correct once again. If not for us. Can only be described as a great British wonder. I tell you, it was total carnage! Flames everywhere and the old stick in full fettle! Out of interest, what time of day was that? Not sure I can remember. It was 2 days ago now. Let's see. Around 5 o'clock, I think. So exactly the same time as a terrifying incident was unfolding outside your window. Even more terrifying on the inside, I can assure you. The whole of Blighty could have been flattened outside my window at that moment, and I wouldn't have noticed a dashed thing. Oh, really? Ugh. Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. What can I do for you? Well, I think we've got to the bottom of Mr. Garradeb's situation now. But what does it have to do with Mr. Nutsmere's circumstances? I can't help you there, I'm afraid. What? My dear fellow, if you recall, I did say as much from the outset. I warned you that although I knew the retired army man to be hiding something, I could not be sure whether his secret would prove to be of relevance or not. just knew you were going to say that. Now, Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't lose heart. Bear in mind that all things fall into one of only two categories. Those relevant to the case and those not. That makes no sense to me. It was no help to me. Well, no matter. It's a far greater opponents, and you make up from your mind now. Sorry? Visiting hours at the prison will soon be over. Oh no, is it that time already? If we're to accept Mr. Natsume's case, we have official paperwork to attend to. So that's it. No more time to think. Perhaps you'd like to betake yourself to bidding us farewell now. We've got dinner to make. I must prepare supper for Mr. Garradeb. Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for your time. Soseki-san will be waiting for us. I'm going to have to give him an answer. Shall we? Oh gosh. Wait, what? Is that what I clicked on? It's time, Mr. Naruhodo. We must hurry back to the prison. I know, but let's say all Huh? What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over there in front of the Garradeb's house. Hmm? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Who are you calling an old man, you rum-looking nimini-bimini? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than I dreamt in your philosophy. Who's this Horatio fellow, huh? What are you on about? What's this on about? Excuse me. What the? Who are you now? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. My associate here, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, is a lawyer, you see. A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet! Get thee to a nunnery! Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? Hello? I do hope you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so gentle. Thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than I dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either, sir. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here in the Garradeb residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Mr. Garradeb mentioned that he had another lodger, didn't he? This must be the man. Do you happen to know the other lodger who lives on the first floor? Ah, yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy of polemis in my battle words now could there be. So, battle, did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden, so, good gentleman, I can tarry here no longer. Fare thee well. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. It seems he's unaware of what's happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. The Soseki-san and that man that lodges the Gyaradobe house is certainly full of eccentrics. This entire country is full of eccentrics. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yes, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting our return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Hello again, sir. Still twitchy as ever? We're here now. Not sure if we'll actually be of service, but... Oh, it's you! You're here! You came! No consider Mr. Nuttlewater, Esquire! I can't believe you came back! I'm so touched! I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh no! Think nothing of it! Relax! Say that to yourself, sir. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure at the company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nipponese. Okay, so if Soseki's saying it's not a slur, alright, sure, I'll take it. Now, let's not get carried away, sir. Oh, I quite agree. There is nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of one's native land. On the other hand, it is through friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. Oh, it's you! Miserable, rotten spy! Hairlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? Everywhere I turn! I have no intention of doing anything per se, save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that gloomful room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair. Eccentric pair? I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Not well by the looks of it. Gloomful room? You've been snooping in my place? At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that case, it is the superior option. Bruh. Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight. It cost me not a penny. Ah, you! How dare you, Hairlock Sholmes! I had it through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should have never come to Great Britain. It's a terrible mistake. haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings. No doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. Well, you have a monarchy, Neko, don't you? There's something. My whole life has been damned! What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? Can't you read it? He mentioned that once before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed on me. There is much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. He does have a rather glorious mustache, doesn't he? Never mind that now. What? Cursed is a wholly appropriate description, I would say. The man's lodgings. Indeed, for tomorrow's trial. Very reassuring, Mr. Soames. What's that supposed to mean? The ghost trial? It's being presided over by the Reaper, is it? Mr. Nutsmith, what did you mean by what you just said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no. Why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. What doesn't make you nervous? Sorry, it's just getting carried away, that's all. Oh, I didn't mean anything by it. I see. It's really agitated him. The trial is cursed somehow. Are you referring to the prosecutor? The Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please tell me! Somewhere it's succinctly in 16 salient words! No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. I'll let you count the syllables, did he say? Oh, words. I'll let you count yourself. Oh my, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly! Oh shoot, you counted. Uh-oh. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. He's McGill dead now. I really shouldn't be making fun of someone's death, but I couldn't help it. Oh, dang! Mr. McGill dead! I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, the Lord Chief Justice told us. Mr. Soames, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Von Zieks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry. The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Yes. Well, of course he is. You knew that. Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What on earth do you mean by that? Von Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception.
that's good.
Soseki looks like he's going to cry tears of joy. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated, as we've observed. Right. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, which I hope isn't us, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such underhand means, those who are able to sway the jury, which means that even in light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail.
But it means the wrong verdict can be passed.
And sadly it is from time to time, my dear madam. It is simply the reality of the situation.
And that's all right?
However, those indicted by Lord Von Zies cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed.
Oh my.
Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking.
Disappear? Wow!
By a manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever. Or perhaps attacked by highwaymen.
Oh no!
All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo.
You knew it. I'm dead. Dodo, done for, doomed. Sure. What a dire situation you've gotten yourself into, sir. I'm so sorry. My condolences. When you said accursed lodgings before, you were referring to your room at Mr. Garadeb's house, I presume. Do you mean to say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. I had only been in London a week before I started noticing strange feelings in myself.
Oh. That didn't take long then.
Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room. But even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away.
You must have been very lonely, having been away from your homeland for such a long time.
I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now.
Yes, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient.
The rent is cheap. I have so little money, it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. I quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him. If you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place! Darn it!
Yes, well said.
But it was true. It was all true.
You mean
The room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I wake feeling as though I've been choked to death. In my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really? No one at all? To believe. Yes. To believe. To believe. Mr. Sholmes? Oh, me, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Bruria, if you recall. Or is that useless information too? Bruria. Oh, that case. The one with the snake? Oh, sure. Yes. I wonder how Poroshko is doing. At the time, I was the suspect. But you believed in me and listened to my side of the story and cuffed me so many times. And you helped us to investigate. Well, I feel like Hosonaga gave us more freedom in that department, but alright. Then again, the dance of deduction. Oh, I did, didn't I? Interesting. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said, I didn't do it! Yeah, well, that's what Brett said too, but... But I could have been lying! Exactly. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I mean, he's the one who outed us, dang it! What is this? My best bro! How could you accuse me? I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. It's a choice now, is it? Is that what you're saying? What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Enlighten us, elucidate! I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary element of judgment. Nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It's on you, my good man. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right! He's right! Logan shouldn't miss another Naruhodo Esquire. I agree with him for once! Herlock Sholmes! Whether or not I can believe in myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. That comes down to how much faith he has in himself.
I'm not crying now, but I did cry the first time. You were so right, Kazuma. Well, my dear fellows, it's time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Hopefully there's not another murder scene there. Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you.
I'll give you to Mr. Naruto, Esquire.
As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday. Although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial.
Something crucial?
What to believe in. The defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court.
I'll give you to Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire.
I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yes, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Speaking of end, there's the end of that tea supply. Mr. Sato? Yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Well, what else is she going to do? Absolutely! As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Love the enthusiasm, love. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. But it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me. And Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time. Time that I learned to believe in myself. Soseki has no one. He's all alone. So it's my job to help him. To fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster.